Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint Germain family. We're sitting here right ahead of the Club World Cup final. Received so many comments. Talk about PSG Chelsea, PSG Chelsea. Calma. I always like to do the previews one day before to read everything. I've read some of the Chelsea players have said. Apart from that was like the only thing. That was the only thing that changed me potentially doing a video or straight after that Madrid game. But obviously, I want to talk about the Madrid game, the Mbappe stuff, and everything. And the Club World Cup. We're into the Club World Cup final. And I've been hyped about this tournament ever since I knew about the changement from the previous Club World Cup to this new format. I knew we had to win it. I wanted us to win it. The priority for the season was obviously winning the Champions League. But then, when the Club World Cup started, I remember some Paris Saint Germain supporters, unfortunately, they do call themselves Paris Saint Germain supporters, they said, we've won the UCL. I wouldn't be mad if we don't win the Club World Cup. We shouldn't put too much effort so it doesn't hamper us in the UCL next season. Like, what the fuck is this small club mentality? Paris Saint Germain, as you can see, win every trophy that we compete in. Last season, we won every single trophy that we competed in, apart from the Champions League. This season, we've won every single competition we participated in, apart from the Club World Cup, where we are obviously in the final, coming up against Chelsea FC. Chelsea FC. Have I watched a Chelsea game at this Club World Cup? No, I haven't. The issue with Chelsea is, like for me, if I'm gonna watch a non-PSG game, it's gonna be two big teams. Ish. Like Madrid Al Hilal. I would say Chelsea Fluminense was one, but like I was here. The internet wasn't good. Like the only thing I was gonna put any energy and time to was Paris Saint Germain now that I'm on holiday. But yeah, so I don't really know how well Chelsea have been. All I know is they've won every single game apart from obviously the Flamengo game. But I've heard from some people that Chelsea like rotated a bit in that game, even though they didn't just lose. Like Flamengo was clearly the better side in that game. But that's one game. Obviously, we lost to Botafogo, not in the same way. They had one chance, scored from it, defended the rest of the game. Shout out to Botafogo, deserved win, but obviously not the same kind of defeat. Um, and I have to be honest, we faced Bayern and Madrid straight before this Chelsea game. Two clubs that were participating in the Champions League. Both of them got knocked out in the Champions League quarterfinal. And then we have Chelsea, who finished fourth in the Premier League and won obviously the Conference League. But the Chelsea fans are talking and have been talking way more than Madrid and Bayern fans have been talking. I understand it's a final, so I guess it's a little bit of a different vibe than a semi-final and so on. But Bayern fans didn't talk as much shit as Chelsea fans. Madrid fans didn't talk as much shit. Like I saw plenty of Madrid fans being scared. I saw plenty of Bayern fans not being scared, but they knew this was going to be an extremely tough game, and their team had to have like a 9 out of 10 performance to beat the Paris Saint Germain team. But I'm seeing Chelsea fans saying, "Oh, when we won the UCL, we were the underdog. 2021 and 2012, we were the underdog, and we won it." Like how? Sure, I guess in the history of Chelsea, in that sense, it matters. But I don't understand the relevance going into this game. Like if we strictly look at the logical standpoints, this Paris Saint Germain team is way more experienced. Majority of these players played last season in UCL under Lucho, played this season UCL under Lucho, and have been performing at a elite level at the Club World Cup. I think we've scored like 16 goals, conceded one goal. So and it's not just the Chelsea fans, Chelsea players as well. I saw both Reece James and Colwell. I read their thingy and they said, PSG beaten all the English teams. PSG beaten Madrid and Bayern, but we're different. We're different. We're different. Just trying to be a bit goofy. Instead of saying something logical, no, just different. Just different. Are you better than Bayern? Like I don't think individually Chelsea are better than Madrid, but I think collectively Chelsea are better than Madrid because Madrid, I mean, that's their biggest weakness. That's why we led 3-0 after 26 minutes because collectively, as a unit, pressing, defending, moving, everything, horrendous. So, but Bayern better, and we beat them. But I don't understand this different thing from Chelsea. I think it's arrogance. Look, you can be confident in your team. And look, you should be confident in your team, both as a supporter and obviously a player of Chelsea FC. But talking smack before the final, I even saw Vitinha. I saw Vitinha's Club World Cup press conference ahead of the final, and he was extremely respectful. Vitinha, the guy that has won 5 trophies this season, the Nations League, the Champions League, and has been performing at a really high level at the Club World Cup. Vitinha was more humble than Colwill and Reece James. What did Vitinha say? He said, there's a reason Chelsea are in this Club World Cup final. What did Vitinha say? We need to have a great game to beat this Chelsea side. It's like it's turned around. Why are Chelsea players this arrogant? I don't understand it. And then their manager as well, Maresca. They asked Maresca, they told him, like, are your players ready to suffer in this game, because you will not have that much, like there will be moments and periods of time where you will not have possession or you'll have to defend. And he was like, who said that? In the sense that no, PSG will not like have possession and dominate and have shots and everything. I'm genuinely disappointed and disgusted, because out of most Premier League teams, like Chelsea, I actually like they're won 2 UCLs since I've become a football supporter. I remember when they won it in 2011. Actually, interestingly enough, my first ever football shirt was a Fernando Torres number 9 shirt. That was my first ever football shirt. So I've always liked, not like support or something, but like just being a cheeky side. I even had an unpopular opinion on the Football Terrace football channel this season. In the beginning of the season, I said, hot take, Chelsea are going to win the Premier League. Because they were really good, and I rate their squad. And I don't rate Arsenal that much. And I thought Liverpool, they were overperforming. Shout out to Liverpool for winning it. So yeah, I'm genuinely disappointed in how the Chelsea fans have been talking, in how the Chelsea players have been talking, in how Maresca, the Chelsea manager, has been talking. What it shows me is, yes, they are in the Club World Cup final, but this is not an experienced team. This is not a team that knows how to beat a team. Because you have to be respectful, especially against the best team in the world that just won the Champions League and have been slapping up much better teams than Chelsea. Where is the respect? Where is the respect? And that's why, in the beginning, I remember as soon as the Madrid game finished, I posted something on Twitter. Someone commented, I think he was a Chelsea fan. He said, what's your prediction for the final? I said, you know what? I just want to get this season over with. I just want to win this tournament, get over with. Let's go with the 3-1. But now, I wanted destruction. You know how we slapped up Inter? You know how we slapped up Atletico? You know how we slapped up Madrid? More than that. To humble these players and this manager and this fan base. To never talk shit about Paris Saint Germain. It's genuinely disgusting. It's genuinely disgusting. Chelsea. I was so excited. Chelsea got a vibrant young team. They basically are doing something similar to the Paris Saint Germain project, just with way much more. Like they're spending way more, and it's taking longer time. Well, now they got Maresca. They have a lot of good players. It seems like they can go in a similar direction to Paris Saint Germain. They're so arrogant. They're so arrogant. Like imagine winning the UCL, winning the Nations League, being in the Club World Cup final as one of PSG's best performing players, and being more humble than Colwill. Who the fuck is Colwill? Where is a Colwill, man? We didn't want to do this. We didn't want to do this. I've seen all the memes. Chelsea shouldn't play the game. Chelsea this, Chelsea that. I was like, nah, this is going to be a great final. A final is always a great final. But you guys ruined it. You guys ruined it. We respected y'all. Maybe, obviously, there were some Paris Saint Germain supporters maybe disrespecting Chelsea and everything. But we respected y'all. We knew this was going to be a tough game. I'm obviously extremely confident that we're going to win. But we need to have a great game. Because Chelsea is going to be a very tough side. Defensively, on the counter-attack as well. Just looking at those two Joao Pedro goals, he'll be scary. Especially with Pacho out for the game. But yeah, that's my biggest opinion going into this game. We need to humble these lot. We need to humble these Chelsea fans, these Chelsea player, this Chelsea manager. And we will do it in a beautiful way, as we've done before. Going into the lineup, Paris Saint Germain will just play the same thing. Very happy with Beraldo's performance coming in from Pacho. Great lineup. Chelsea, I'm guessing Sanchez in goal, Gusto, I don't know, Chaloba Tosin, or maybe Colwell, Kukurea. I've seen. Let me finish off the team: Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, Neto, Pedro, like Joao Pedro, and someone else. I don't know exactly. And one funny thing, actually, on Twitter, Chelsea fans love to compare their players to ours. They've compared Caicedo to Joao Neves. They've said he's better. They've said Enzo is better than Vitinha. There's some out there who they call Cucurella the best left back in the world. I know that sounds fake, but there are actually people that believe Cucurella is the best left back in the world. Cucurella. It's gonna be a reality check, but I'm gonna enjoy this game. I'm really excited, capping off, one of the greatest footballing seasons of all time. Definitely, by far the greatest in our history. Becoming the first team to win the double. That's what they would start calling it. Champions League and Club World Cup in the same season, same year. Beautiful. And I'm confident. Like, I've been confident. Yeah, I put out a video like we were going to win the Champions League after the Liverpool tie, I think. But yeah, like... And I don't want to be overconfident or arrogant or anything. Like, I think we've proven... I think Paris Saint Germain have proven why their fans should be confident. Yes, Chelsea are in this final, but I don't think that's enough to prove them to be confident in beating us. That's the thing. Paris Saint Germain being confident in beating Chelsea makes sense. Chelsea fans being confident in beating Paris... Like, I'm not talking about the people that know it's like a 10-15% chance, and then they just believe in that 10 to 15% chance a lot and say, let's have an underdog story, let's suffer, let's do this, let's fight, and let's win it, like they did against Bayern in 2011 and so on. No, I'm talking about the people that believe like they will actually win it like 70% or something. That's delusion, because that's not based on logic, that's not based on common sense, that's not based on football knowledge, that's based on delusion and emotional attachment to your club. But yeah, I don't really have that much more to say. Talked about the lineup. I said the biggest thing in my head at the moment, scrolling Twitter, seeing Maresca, bum ass, Colwell, bum ass, Reece James, fruity ass, saying all of this stuff, you gotta get humbled. I don't even remember the Madrid and Bayern players talking before the game, man. What is this, man? I'm genuinely sick in my head. I'm sick in my head because I'm just thinking about them. I'm just thinking about their opinions, and I'm just... I thought when we won the UCL and after all of these games that the Paris Saint Germain disrespect would finally stop. But no, there are still delusional people out there. To finish it off, let's just look at the potential way Chelsea could win this game. I think it's very simple, actually. I think it's very simple on how a team can beat PSG. You take your chances, the minimal ones, very clinical, like the goals that Joao Pedro scored. You're very great defensively, which is extremely hard against Paris Saint Germain. And then we have to make mistakes defensively so you can score. And then we have to miss like 4 to 5 big chances. So the likelihood of Chelsea winning this game is very low. Can they win it? Of course. This is a final as well. A final matters for everyone. This would be huge for the Chelsea project, especially going into next season. They might even believe they can win the Premier League. They might believe they can go really deep in the Champions League and potentially win it. I mean, if they beat us, Chelsea will have... That's the thing. Like, if Chelsea fans were talking like this after beating us, Cook, If you beat us fair and square, talk as much shit as you want. But you've beaten Fluminense, Esperance Tunis, LAFC, beaten by Flamengo. What more team did you beat? Benfica or something? Have some respect. Well, that's been it from boy PS Gent. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this cheeky quick preview. And as usual, see you guys on the live watch along tomorrow. And as usual, allez, allez. Allez Paris. Allez Paris.